So Srijan, for the first time, I have met someone who is having so contrasting personality. Like you are good at soft skill, but at the same time, you are also having some technical knowledge. Like let's start with how did you got this internship at Mentor Graphics and what were the requirements? Because for the first internship at IGI, you said there was nothing much of a requirement because you were in your first year and you just
Mm.
completed it. But for Mentor Graphics, I think it's a different thing. So just can you just tell you how was your procedure? How did you approach that company? What was the eligibility criteria? What were the rounds and everything about that?
Okay. So here also I will just remind your one thing that you said in for IGI, that
Mhm.
awareness.
Yeah.
For mentor graphics, the main part was awareness. Literally, so many people have asked me about this, and when I tell them about this, and when they get this chance, they are like, it was not that tough. It was only about awareness. So what happened for mentor graphics was that they had or started the HEP program, higher education program. It's a basically 40-day program.
Mm.
So and it at Noida also and at Bangalore also. Okay. So and now this thing very few people know, and if someone would be knowing, then like you, they would be very much like it would be requiring a high CGPA, it would be requiring a very high test, it would be requiring technical rounds, right? Something like that
I
that
guess
comes in your mind,
like
right?
I had one of the like alumni from you, like Sudhanshu. He also said that there was like
Yes.
OTA program for mentor graphics at that time,
Yes,
but it
yes,
is
yes.
not
Actually,
available
I
right
and he, both of us did the internship at this, like from TTU, we both were selected
now.
at
Okay.
for the same.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, as I said, like he also would have said that here for this we had a very like long form that we had to fill. Okay, we had to fill a SOP also in that only. So it was just a part of the form. Okay,
SOP
and
means statement of
obviously we,
purpose.
yes, statement of
Okay.
purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and we gave our CV for this particular thing, and that was all right. And of around 490 people had submitted, like they said at the, like when we were selected, around 490 people have sent, and from that 30 people were selected depending upon various factors like your CGPA, like your previous knowledge on
From
Verilog
490,
or
30 people were selected.
yes, 30 people were
Okay.
selected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and directly selected. There was no interview, there was no written test. So, this is very important thing. Like, people, they don't, they get very surprised. Like, only from this form or from this SOP or from this CV round, you got this opportunity. So, I said, yes, things actually happen. And
That's
in fact, even
unbelievable.
I
Yeah.
had been, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, all about awareness. What happened was even we weren't very sure. In fact, we didn't know. Like one of my seniors was there from my college only. He was 1 year senior to me. Okay, so he was the one who did this internship last time,
Mm-hmm.
and he told Sudhanshu and me that you can also try for it this time. Now, what happens is this internship is mainly for those people who have completed their third year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the form they say that you can apply in your second year, but they prefer third year people. Okay, now we thought that what is happening in applying, they not charge high fees, they do not, like just a form has to be filled, right? It is
Mm-hmm.
a half an hour task. So we thought that okay, we can fill it being in
Yeah.
second year. Like see, we thought that okay, we are from decent college, we have decent CGPA, we had
So
decent
just give a
projects,
shot.
right? After, so just give a shot. Like
Ah.
we already had arrangements in DMRC also, like we like in DRDO, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
this
Okay.
doesn't work, we have some kind, and we were more focused on doing our project on our own, right? There
Mm.
was not much pressure of doing an internship only. So we just give it a shot, and after a week we got the result that you are selected. And then when we went there, we realized that out of 490, only like initially we thought very few people applied, but then we saw that okay, and even if you see 490 is also very less number, because hardware companies there are very less that provide this kind of opportunity, and so many electronic students graduate, right? There are so many of them, but still only 490 applied. So that's a very different thing, right? Like in you see in gate around 1 lakh students sit for
Yeah.
EC exam. So of these 1 lakh, at least 50-60,000 would be thinking of corporate sector job, of making a career in VLSI. Still only 490 students applied. So that's again about awareness, right? So I would also like, after that year 2019 and 20 pandemic came, and so they made it a kind of online version, and even 2021 they kept it online only. So that they had just started it around 3-4 years back. So that was opportunity that just like changed my idea also towards VLSI. Like initially I was not very much interested. Like when I was in my second year, I realized that okay, getting CGPA is okay, doing some project is fine, but it is very tough, right? Because you know that in software you see so many people getting into Google, so many people into getting into Microsoft, and it's like even someone from civil is going, you are from electronics background, so you can also be selected, right? Obviously it would require some hardware, it would require 6 months or 1 year of coding, but people are doing, right? But at least you would be having a greater chance of selection, okay?
Hmm.
So I was not very much interested, inclined towards VLSI, okay? But I did some projects, I had a decent 9 plus CGPA. So when I landed in this internship, when I learned like when I this course also was on Verilog and System Verilog, and we had projects also on Verilog also and on System Verilog also. And then at the end of those 40 days, I
Okay, so
realized
you
that
were actually prepared with these languages, Verilog, System Verilog, before third year?
so see what I'm saying. Yes. So basically, Verilog or Verilog people start learning in their second year or at max in
Hmm.
third year.
Hmm.
Anyone who is interested to go in the VLSI side, they have to go for Verilog either in the start of the third year or if things go fine at the end of the second year.
Hmm.
So because we also from our seniors knew that when you are going in hardware sector, so basically hardware sector also has two parts: analog side, digital, and third is communication. Communication, very few people are interested, and there are very few companies like Airtel and Tejas Networks. There are very few companies who go for communication. So mainly it is analog and digital. For analog, you have ST Micro, you have TI, and for digital, you have Qualcomm, Samsung, Google Hardware, Apple, so many things. So when you are in digital, if you want to go for digital, there's the first thing that you should get yourself first with is Verilog, okay? Because in colleges we learn VHDL, okay? The VHDL is
Hmm.
basically a programming language for digital design, but VHDL was being used by the industries 5 years, 10 years back. Now they all have shifted to Verilog.
Yeah,
System Verilog is more advanced,
the
right?
latest one.
So
Yeah.
at the undergraduate level, you should know Verilog. If you are postgraduate, you should have a basic idea of System Verilog. And at the so we had a basic idea of Verilog in the second year because we knew that it is very important and it's very important during our internships, and seniors also told us, and material is like sufficiently available on YouTube or NPTEL. You can get a course on Verilog, okay? So we studied Verilog, we did a basic 8-bit RISC processor project on Verilog, and on that only we framed our CV and sent to Mentor Graphics. And then when it got selected, so there the project was very like the project itself went for 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks, almost 8 hours each day. So that was a very long project, okay? So at the end of those 40 days, when I realized that you are like when we got an idea of Verilog, System Verilog at the undergraduate level, that's a very big thing that just clears you out from a pool of
True.
electronic students, okay? So after that internship, my interest towards VLSI, my interest towards core hardware sector got increased because I realized that you have a basic profile, you have a basic skill set, basic not just a little advanced skill set, because Verilog only very few people know, and now getting a system Verilog idea at the
Actually,
undergraduate
many
level. So
universities don't even have this in curriculum. Like you were at least lucky to
yes,
like in
exactly.
DTU they have it.
Even like let me explain, even in my college they do not have Verilog in this curriculum, we have VHDL, okay?
Hmm.
Now but my teachers were very good, they said in the beginning itself that college is having VHDL, but on your own focus on Verilog.
Hmm.
So in the first day itself, now even I was the one who questioned that why we are studying VHDL then, if the industry uses Verilog, if Verilog is a much more advanced language, then why? So they said it's just a curriculum and you cannot change that, right? And government college, we cannot just go and just make a request to change VHDL
Of
to
course,
Verilog,
Indian
right?
education curriculum 40 years
Yes,
back.
you know it, right?
Everyone. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the case. So that's why we studied Verilog in the class, and it's very similar, like C and C++. If you know C++, you can easily go to Python, you can easily go to C, you can easily even go for Java. Like the
Hmm.
logic remains same, right? Just the
Yeah.
syntax becomes different. Same is the case with VHDL Verilog.
Yeah.
The loop would remain same, switch, if else, these things would remain same. Just the syntax would change. Just the construct would remain same. So that's not a very different thing, right? So Verilog we did it on our own, and there we did even system Verilog, and then at the end of 40 days I was like, yes, this thing we can, like, I should explore even after third year, or like this is the thing where I can make the career, because I knew that few companies come, right? Very few students go for it, but few students they do take, right? It's not that the success ratio is zero. Like if in software 100 people are selected, in hardware 10 people are selected, but at least 10 are selected. It's not that one is selected, right? So there is less chance, but chance. And more importantly, you will see that software everybody is doing, right? So for those 100 jobs, around 1,000 people are applying, right? But for these 10, even 100 won't be applying, because very few people you would see they have interest in electronics. First of all, they have to be from the EC branch, and even in the EC branch, half of them go for coding, right? Because very few people get interest in VLSI, in MOSFETs, in Verilog and all that. So that was the thing that motivated me to remain in this thing, to just because coding I haven't liked since the first year. Like in my school also I had C++ in my 12th computer science. I got very good marks, but still it was something that I couldn't do for long. I thought
Yeah.
that this is not something that drives me, right? Because see, it's not that hardware I am very much passionate about since first year, but
Mhm.
coding I was very sure that I was not passionate. Okay.
Right.
And that was something that I would have done at the last part. Like if nothing is going as per your things, then start I will start, because basic idea I had since it was in my 11 12, then in my
Mm.
first year also. So if I have to start, I would think that the last, if nothing goes right, then start coding. So that was the case. So basically, so as I said, mental graphics, it was 40 days. It was a very long system, very long. The teachers, the faculty that stud like that were there, they were also very helpful. They were like, they were not just any teachers, like they were from the industry side, so they knew how to mold these students, not from the getting CGPA point of view, but getting a industry point of view, right? So that was very important part of that particular internship. So, and in fact that internship only helped me a lot when I was applying, when I had the Qualcomm internship interview, because having system Verilog knowledge at undergrad level definitely separated you from the crowd. So that was, yes. So that's what I'm saying. That for that internship, as I said, awareness was important. Like that senior was knowing us. They told us, we applied, things went well, selected, we did the internship. So it's all like goes with the flow, and it's all about awareness. That's why I'm saying try to connect yourself with others, because if we would have been just focused on studies, if we would have been just sitting in your hostel room or in your home and just giving exams, giving a suppose 10 CGPA, but at the end of suppose 2 years, 3 years, you do not have any contact, you do not know what has to be done, then there isn't much use. Like we know that even if you are having a, because I have seen people who have 7.58 CGPA, and because of their connection, because of their soft skills, because of the way they present their knowledge, they are at very good places. So that's very important. So that's why I'm saying that, okay, I'm not saying that like the studies are not very useful, but they are useful. But try to focus on these things also, because they make you an overall personality, right? Suppose you are 70%, they would make you a 90%, 95%, right? But these 20% are equivalent to suppose 60% of your technical skill set, because they are like we all know, we have a technical round, we have an HR round. So obviously, if these HR round actually has some kind of importance, right? Because I've seen people getting selected in 3 technical rounds but getting rejected in HR round. So, and obviously this HR required didn't require any kind of teaching, any kind of question solving ability, any kind of aptitude, right? They just required like how you are able to uh, convey yourself. So that's very important part. So yes.
Yeah. Like I was getting each and every point when you were telling this. And yes, this is also like a big like root cause for not many of us knowing about these hardware companies, that we are not getting much of a visibility. Okay, there is an opportunity even in this hardware sector. Even after
Mm,
taking electronics and ESTC branch, people are moving toward computer science in final year because they get placed easily. But you are an idol for like portraying that, okay, electronics people
mm.
just focus on your core
Because
subjects,
see,
you will get it.
like what I said, that there are few opportunities in electronics, but there
Mm,
isn't zero opportunities, right? You just need to make sure how to come in that few.
yeah.
That's the path that you have to follow, right? And more importantly, I would just say, like as you said, opportunities, like as far as I know of my branch in EC, since I was a placement coordinator, so I have the
Mm,
stats. All every students who had a decent profile, I'm not saying very stellar profile, even a decent profile with a decent CGPA, who had some interest in VLSI, is in VLSI.
true.
So I'm not saying that there are an opportunity. It's not that 40 people were interested and only 10 got placed and those 30 were not getting any jobs. No, they are in any VLSI, some or the other company.
Because the
Some are in
company is
verification,
less,
some
demand is also more. Like it goes
yes,
hand in
because
hand.
see, exactly. Now you must have heard the news 1 week back. Like they have invested around 76,000
Yeah,
crores for semiconductor industry.
semiconductors.
So yes, so why are they doing it? Because they know the ability of electronics, in the importance of electronics sector. So that's what I'm saying, that there are plenty of opportunities. I know software there is more, but for those extra roles there are extra lot of people also, right?
Yeah.
Like someone from biotech,
You
someone from
have to be
chemical, someone, and
from like 10, 25%. If you are in computer science, you have to
exactly,
perform excellent.
exactly. And more importantly, what happens is, like, as what I see, so many people are going in software side, so many people are going in. At some point of time, there is some kind of saturation. There is some kind
Saturation.
of
Hmm.
thing that where it would be like, okay, you are from computer science and you are from civil, so they would prefer the computer science, right? Now, suppose you are in a hardware industry. Okay, now there isn't anyone who is from biotech. There is
Hmm.
anyone who is from computer science. So who are you going to be compared to? No one,
Right.
right? So that's the thing I like about this Indians.
Nice, nice. Okay, so Srijan, let's talk about your next internship, which was a major one, like cracking Qualcomm.
Mm,
Like
mm.
how, like your previous internship actually worked in favor of you, or this was something that was again you had to start from. Of course, you don't have to start from scratch, but how did you approach this company?
Okay, so basically, Qualcomm came on campus. Okay, so like when we have the
Okay,
internship
so
session at the
Qualcomm came on campus and they were giving this internship, or it was for full-time
mm,
opportunities?
no, no. So basically, in software again, many companies come for internship, but in
Mhm.
hardware also few companies come for internship. Like we have
Mhm.
Qualcomm, like we have TI, like we have Google Hardware also take one student. So around 7 to 8 students they get a hardware internship. Okay,
Mhm.
so Qualcomm was the first company that came in the hardware domain to our college. Okay, 28th of July 2019. So I had just like finished the mentor graphics internship 10-15 days back, and we know that okay, this company is coming. So first of all, we tried to figure out the what is the structure. Okay, so we had a written test, basically online test. So I was just like, there were around 60 questions, 20 from aptitude, 20 from basic programming, and 20 for your hardware sector. Now, obviously, Qualcomm comes from software also. So the last 20 questions would was an optional for you. Like whether if you're applying for a software role, you have to select the software one. If you are applying for the VLSI role, you have to apply for the hardware questions. So, okay. So 60 questions were there in 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yes.
So in that
30 minutes
hardware
for each
question,
section.
was it like a programming question related to Verilog or the electronics one?
So, yes. Okay. So first 20 I said it was an aptitude question. Okay. So
Mhm.
basic aptitude, little bit maths, little bit
Reasoning
paragraph
ability,
solving, like you,
verbal
yes,
ability.
reasoning ability. Okay, verbal ability. Not much of verbal ability. They do not show English. That's mainly the reasoning aptitude. Okay.
Mhm.
Then the next 20 they were solely on programming. Okay, like C++, basic programming skills. That's the name of that
But
set.
that was
Basic
for
programming.
software
Like,
part, right? Those who are
no, no,
applying
no.
to.
That's what I'm saying. No, no. There were 60 questions. First
Mhm.
20 were basic aptitude. Second
Mhm.
20 were basic programming. These 40 questions were compulsory for all.
Okay. Mhm.
These 40 questions were compulsory for all. The next 20 questions were optional for different set of people. Okay.
Mhm.
So now obviously some students have asked me like, why are they asking programming if it is a hardware role? Okay. But the questions that came, even I was very confused because as I said that I
Mhm.
haven't not very much like confident of the software side. But when I looked at the questions, the way like it was very basic, like what is the data type of int, or how does a for loop
Okay.
function, or
Okay.
how
Okay.
does
Okay.
switch case works? Okay. Why do you have hashtag include? So these things I think that, like, see, I know that if you're in hardware, even if you are in suppose MBA person, you would be thinking that coding you do not require. But I won't say that coding is something,
You
learning
should
programming language is
basic. You
something
should
that
at least
has
require basic knowledge
basic,
of
everyone
coding.
should be
Yeah.
knowing. Yes, because see, whatever work you are doing, whether it be
Mm.
hardware, whether it be analyst, whether it be content, anything that you're doing, you do require some part of logic in everywhere. Okay,
True.
like suppose
Mm.
that just a simple thing, if else. Now, if else is a very common thing, right? If this happens, then do this. If this else,
Right.
do this. Now, this thing is just more advanced way in, for software computer science people. For basic people, it's just a simple explanation. But the logic remains same, right? They
Same.
won't be
Mm.
asking you graphs. They won't be asking you linked list. They won't be asking you tough arrays. because they are something advanced computer science, right? They
Yeah.
won't be requiring that in hardware. But knowing basic if else structure, knowing basic switch case statements, that is important in hardware also, right? Suppose you are just programming a 8-bit processor, and you know there are four functions, and or, and not, and XOR, and you have a same, suppose this one mux 2 is to 4 mux. Okay, so there also if statement is there, right? Like if these two signals then do this, if these two signals then do this. That is again a little programming related. So those 20 questions were basic programming, right? So you do not have to just go through computer science syllabus, you do not have to study operating systems, you do not have to do competitive coding, nothing like that. You just have to have a basic idea. That's completely on the basis of the first year computer C++ that we study. So
Mm.
that's enough for that. Okay, and next 20 is on hardware. So in the 20 questions that were from hardware, they were mainly from VLSI, mainly from like MOSFETs, from your transistors, from your diodes. Okay, then from in the digital side, like analog questions were very few, because see, MOSFET is something that you can relate in digital also.
Digital.
Suppose they can give you a
Mm.
NAND gate in with the help of MOS, so you just have to identify what kind of gate is this. So those were the gate questions were there. Verilog questions were also there. Like suppose what kind of output would be coming this, or if it is any kind of error, so what error it would be, runtime error, compile error, something like that. Then suppose we have a we have different kinds of, like, basically there were mainly two sets. One is with three sets, you can say: verilog, hard, analog, and digital. So of these three things only the questions were there. It wasn't from EMFT, it wasn't from control systems, it wasn't from any other subjects. Mainly it was from digital, analog, and verilog. Verilog is also again a part of digital only, yes. So, and then after the written test, we had, like, one day after we had the interview. For interview, it was one technical round and one HR round was there. So technical round also was very fine. Like they were mainly like asking about why the, like, working of MOS, or suppose how does, like, your power is distributed, like when you have W by L in a MOSFET changes out. So basic questions, basic understanding of your this. Then they asked about the project that I did at Mentor Graphics, the micro. Okay, that was there. So yes, it went for around 30-35 minutes went. And then after that we had the HR round. So in HR round is, as I said, it's just basic communication between you and the recruiter. So they would be just getting to know you, getting to understand you, why you want this job, or why you want to be in this industry, or why we should hire you. Like basically there are 2 to 3 questions that I think would very important for HR, like why we should hire you first of all. So I have many friends who get stuck at this question, why we should hire you, when they are like, because I want the job. So this is not the answer. Obviously, this is the truth, but you won't be saying that, right? So I think that having a basic knowledge of the company, that is very important. Secondly, what you have done in your college, in your internship, how that is useful for the company. You need to just relate these two things, and then you should say, that's why I am the suitable for this, because the work that I have done and the work your company is doing, they both correlate with each other, right? Then you can say your strengths and weakness. That is also very important. Strength, you can say a lot of things. Weakness, you need to also show, because obviously someone has, everybody has some kind of the weakness. So you need to like tell her, like whether it can be, like one of my friends, they actually said that he had a problem in communicating his idea, so he's working on that. So that's also fine. It's not that
Okay. Mm-hmm.
is something kind of wrong, right? You just have to accept that, right? You cannot just say that no, I do not have any kind of weakness at all. You must be having. Then lastly, I would just say one thing, that for all the people, like in HR interviews, like they generally, recruiters ask, do you have any questions for us? So mainly people be like why we should ask, or
Yeah,
it's
at least
their
ask two
responsibility to ask.
questions
But
because that will show
yes,
that you
that's
are
what I'm
actually
saying, that
curious about the
like
company.
you are actually interested. And see,
Mm.
most importantly, the fact is that you have actually not just there to give the interview, you're there for some interaction. You are
Mm.
there to know about the company also. It's not that, suppose I'm talking about Google, so you know everything about Google. No, there can be some question from Google that you would be like, if you get a chance to meet Sundar Pichai, you would be asking that to him, right? So
Mm.
that you can ask the recruiter, like why they have this kind of thing, or what is your future idea on working, suppose Google classes, anything, any. It's not that the person would be knowing, but this would show that you are actually interested, you are actually following with the company, right, the work they have been doing. So that is important in the HR round. Okay, so this was the whole process of the internship.
Okay. And what was your role as an intern? And then answering this, you just moved to your how like for full-time opportunity, what was your role? Because
Okay.
I think
So
you were
basically,
positioned for PD sign off roles or something like that.
yes, yes. So basically, like when we were interning, so I was in the sign off team. So basically, we worked on scripting, we worked on DCD, we worked on see, since we were there for only 2 months, right? So
Hmm.
in 2 months, you cannot just work on a
Right.
process like on any project completely, right? Because that would take a lot of time. So mainly we were given those tasks that could actually be finished in suppose 1.5 or 2 months, right?
Hmm.
So that was the case. So I learned a little bit of Perl, learned a little bit of Tickle because these are important because
Scripting
Verilog, okay, you
languages.
all be knowing. Yeah, scripting languages. So Tickle and Perl, I went through the basic lectures. Then I started coding. I tried to understand what is actually like the company is doing, what the things are like. See, there are some kind of automation works that I did. Like there are a few cases where initially it was done manually. Suppose taking this into this, so this could be scripted in something because working on a particular tool that would again require a lot of time because you have to learn that tool. You do not know any tool beforehand. Like when you are in college, we hardly learn any tool this is required by the company thoroughly, and learning that tool only would take around 1.5 to 2 months. So
Hmm.
obviously that cannot be the goal of the company of your team to make you learn that tool, right? So that's what these were the small things like scripting on like Python, Tickle, Perl, making some kind of data more like easily accessible to them. Initially they had to spend a larger time on that. So these kinds of work we did there, and then when it got converted to FT, so currently I was like working on the STA part, like in this in digital we have STA part, right? Static
Static
timing
timing
analysis.
analysis.
So there we look after the whole setup times, like everything is being meeting properly or not. We use tools from Cadence Synopsys so that like we just need to make sure a design is following your timing constraints. So that's the current role of the team, yes, that I'm in part of.
And when you were talking about static timing analysis, you were already knowing that, or you actually
So
got.
basically STA, we had like when I was in second year, so one of the teachers they said that once when you are preparing for your internship and placement, just go through STA. So and one of my seniors also said that they have a very like I just have to mention that STA is an important part even in internship also, like somewhere it asks, okay, even interview also they try to ask, and it's not a very big topic, but yes, from the company point of view it's a very important topic
So you
because
were
when it
prepared
comes
for
to
this.
set. Yes, so ST, as I said, like we
Hmm.
had a bit of its knowledge, like not just obviously we not did it on the tool, but he has a basic understanding what is a flaw, what is capture launch path, what is a setup, what is a hold time. So
Hmm.
these things we were like thorough when we were like giving the internship test itself. But yes, after a year, like when I joined this after a year, so I have to again go through all these things. Yes.
And now you are currently positioned as an associate engineer. Like mostly I come
Yes.
across profiles like RTL design engineer or verification engineer.
Mhm.
What is this
So
all about associate?
basically,
Yeah.
yes. So see, associate, see what happens is I could have suppose written physical design engineer. See, what happens is there is something called position, there is something called profile, right? These two are
Hmm.
different things, if you think,
Hmm.
right? Now, the Qualcomm has a hierarchy, like in the initial, like once you are just completed your BTech and you joined the company, they have the role of associate engineer, okay? Then that becomes engineer, senior engineer, lead engineer, and all that, okay? This is your position hierarchy, right?
Hmm.
And then there is a profile verification, STA, physical designing, suppose front end, back end, whatever be the case, right? So I could have like combined it as a physical design engineer or STA engineer, right? So just that's just a naming convention. So I mentioned it an associate engineer. You could have someone could have mentioned associate STA engineer. That could have also been the
Okay,
case.
so you are working on
So
front end part or back end, like because you did
mhm.
Minter graphics.
No, so basically physical, see, so basically I was part of the physical design. So as I said that front end, basically the design, obviously front end design comes verification, DFT comes, so those are different people. We work on the physical design. Once the design is completed, we need to make sure whether it is working fine or not. That's the part of our work.
Okay. Hmm. And like, what are your further studies? I mean, further plans. Are you looking for higher studies, or are you looking to switch the roles? Anything like that?
So like till now I haven't like much of the plan, because as I said, like in third year itself I got a plan to go in this industry, right?
Yeah.
And obviously just
You
changing it.
actually like you had a development in a very faster rate already before being
Yes.
graduated, so you don't need actually any
Hmm.
time. Okay,
So
understood.
that's what I was saying, that yes, right now I am not like much planning to suppose change the field or going for higher studies, because see that's also important. Like see, some people they say higher studies important, some are say experience is important. I believe both are equally important. Like
Hmm.
studies are also important, but see, studies something like, see, we all do BTech kind of in a flow, right? Like you had taken PCM in 12th, you got a decent rank, you get a decent college, you did your BTech, right? But going just in this flow only, or like you're because of your friends or because of your parents or whatever be the case, you just give a exam of GRE, or you give suppose CAT, or you give GATE and you get a good rank and you do in the flow MTech or MS or MBA. So that is not the case right now, right? Because after BTech, when we are just past the school, we do not have much of the idea, right? So we can follow the follow the herd, like herd, that okay, we have taken PCM, we had got a good college, and we should go for it. Most of the people do that, right? But after you are 22, after you get a job, you get to learn so many things, and then you have to thoroughly think and decide. Like it's not that five of my friends they are thoroughly preparing for CAT and they gave their MBA exam, and then I was like, no, I should also go for MBA. And then some other friend is going for MS, and I thought that no, because see, now these 2 years are very important, because if you study anything, that would actually define for your entire life, right? Right now,
Hmm.
okay, I have studied BTech, and obviously we all know that BTech knowledge is not very much applicable in your job. But after you do your master, so that obviously after doing MTech, someone won't go in managerial role, that won't make much of the sense, right?
Hmm.
After doing MBA, you won't stay in your technical role, right? That won't make a sense. But after
Hmm.
going BTech, you can do anything. So BTech is basically like 12th. Like in 12th you are taken
Okay.
PCM, still you
Hmm.
are doing science honors, you are going for humanities, you are going for history honors. Similarly, after BTech, you can go for MBA, you can go for CAT, you can go. But now what happens is, after having this job and almost 6 months pass, and now you have to thoroughly decide. You cannot just follow the people and or just think like that person is like that person did that and he got this result. Obviously you do not
This is the
know
time
whether
you choose
that
your
result is
path now, according to your
yes,
interest.
because
Hmm.
this time like you are independent, you now
Hmm.
know what are the things you actually see. What happens is, why I'm saying that job is also important, because you need to first understand how the things are being done, how the business model functions, right? And then you should study for anything higher, because I know that some people would be saying that once you get a like you disconnect from your studies and then you are in job and then it becomes difficult. I am saying that if you actually get the interest to study again after 5 years or so, then nobody is stopping you, right? You can again come. I've seen people, I've seen like you will also see like many big, whether it be CEOs or every, there are so many senior people in the industry that study, go for higher study after 5 years, after 10 years, after 15 years. So obviously it's not that once you are in job and suppose you are in 5 years in job and now it's like you cannot do anything, the path has ended, right? So that is the case. So I have not just planned anything of yet. Yes.
Nice. That was a great point of view.
Mhm.
Okay, Srijan, we would be ending
Uh,
like ending towards our session. So before that,
mhm.
would you like to give any tips for a fresher following this path? Something that you would like to suggest your younger self?
Okay. So basically, like for all those people who are in, obviously who are in like first year or second year and you are interested in this field, see, I'm not saying that everyone who is in EC should go for this field. Obviously, no. You should
Hmm.
have this interest then only, because obviously, if suppose there are 200 people or 150 people in EC, there are not 150 jobs in hardware, right? That's very sure. So but if you have a decent interest in hardware sector, because see, after see first year is, as I said, use your first year to explore your other interest other than technical. Use it to be in some society, use it to be leading some fest, use it in some other kind of dramatics or singing or whatever is the case, right? But because in first year you do not study anything of your subject, so you cannot say at the end of first year I cannot say that I like electronics, because at the end of first year I do not know anything about electronics, because there wasn't any subject of electronics, right?
Hmm.
So give your first year in other things, like getting involved in other kinds of things, right? Then once you are in your second year, you start learning your subjects, then you just decide after third semester, after first semester, is this the path that I have to follow or not? And suppose you feel like, okay, that hardware you have to follow, then you need to make sure that, okay, you have to develop this kind of profile. You can ask your seniors, you can contact people from LinkedIn, that okay, these people are there, how did they prepare, how, what is their CV, how, what all things they did. And then start learning Verilog, start solving gate questions, start reaching out to companies. If you are from a good college, then companies might coming to your college itself, so you can there only sit in the companies. Try solving aptitude questions, because aptitude is a very important part, because I've seen even in technical rounds they are asking aptitude, right? So it's not that aptitude is only for, suppose someone is preparing for MBS only, he has to take care of aptitude. Aptitude is very important. So just in your pastime, you can just give a 10 minutes or 20 minutes time to solving, suppose, aptitude questions, reasoning questions, right? So start learning Verilog from second year, and start doing projects, internships. See, what you can do is simply just get people from these companies which you are aiming for, and see what they have done, what is their path, and how much you can relate. That's what I did. It's not that I went to mentor graphics on my own, I went to Qualcomm on my own. Obviously I followed some people, right? So that's very important, to have good people around you. And you need to follow what all they have been doing, and then try to achieve that. Obviously it's not that if they achieve that, you would also be achieving that, but at least try, right? So this is all I think. Yes, and just get involved in college, also get involved in other than just studying, because till school we have been just doing studies only, and college is because, and after college also you would be just working only. So college is the only place where along with your studies you would be getting a chance to explore other things also. So just don't miss that, at least in your first and second year, because after you have completed your second year, obviously there would be much more responsibility, much more things you should be more worried of. So there you can just leave it off. But at least first and second year, there isn't much pressure of the studies. Even your branch subjects are also very less. So there you can give it a try to for other things, right? Because I've seen few people who are from computer science background, right, and they are working on a startup, they just joined ESL. So that's the interest, that's very important, that comes after you, like after you are spending more time in your team. So that's very important. So just start exploring yourself. Yes. And also
Wonderful.
one more thing I have to like, it's one more thing I just try to like, just don't, like as I said, getting involved, but at the same time make sure that CGPA is also decent. It's not that I'm saying that you can just maintain any CGPA, and try to maintain decent CGPA. 8 is fine, okay? So just try, because see what happens is, it's not I'm saying that companies look for CGPA, but it becomes a factor when they are comparing people, when you are, they are shortlisting people, because that's the something which is common for all, right? They have don't have to go through resume, they don't have to go to project. It's just a number that kind of decides your position. So getting involved in other thing is fine, but at the same time try to maintain a decent academics, so that when you are in the front of the interview, it's just not, you shouldn't have, like you should be able to explain that okay, you have having this decent CGPA, along with this you manage all these things. So that would make you stand apart from the crowd. Yes.
Nice. Those are some of the great tips. I personally learned a lot from you, and I hope that audiences will also be going to get some insightful information from your experience. Like, it is very difficult to say that you are still like 22, or but your experiences actually show a more greater value than your age. So yeah, that's it. It would be for this session, and best of luck for your career.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I just hope that like you guys are doing a great work, and just carry on and make sure that more and more people get this information, because as I said, like the keyword awareness. So suppose after this interview, if even one student get that mental graphics opportunity, that means your channel is successful, right? So yes, so just all the best for to continue this great work, right?